Hello and welcome to another very special edition of the Legal Geeks. We decided that while we're here at the Pearman Conference and while we have our special guest, Judge Sciarrino, we're going to take advantage of this and we're going to talk a little bit of baseball, which I will tell you right up front, I'm not going to contribute to you much besides the occasional random question. So I'm going to turn it over.
Thus proving who the bigger geek of the
That's right. So I'm going to turn over to you two guys to talk about baseball. I think we already have right here a little bit of evidence about where your honors loyalty
You should have
play.
put your Giants.
I wore it
you
yesterday.
did not come here with the Giants?
I wore one yesterday on the flight over. So
You wore a jersey for the...
I wore a Giants shirt.
And this is baseball Giants, not football Giants.
San
See, I know that much. All right.
No, first off, I was hoping that it would have
On
been...
that note, go Steelers.
Yeah.
Beat the Giants. That's one of my rare New York. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
I was really hoping the World Series would have been the Giants and the Yankees.
Me too.
I was because it would have been both coast. I was really hoping.
But I would have been just as happy with the Cardinals.
As opposed to the Giants or the
As
Yankees?
opposed to the Giants.
I would not have.
They're both classics.
Yes.
Because they played each other so many times in the olden days.
Oh, really?
Yankees Giants, Yankees Cardinals were almost your default World Series
Oh, wow.
in the Babe Ruth days, and of course the Yankees always won.
Yeah. I thought it was good for Detroit to get in because it'd been so long, and I thought that.
And it was nice for the city.
I'd say I'm rooting for the Detroit Lions right now, just because I feel like Detroit needs.
I did the
something.
same thing
Come
for
on,
the
Detroit.
Saints.
I
right
did
after
too.
Katrina.
Yep,
you
exactly.
really, the city needed that pick me up.
Yeah, I really thought it was good for them to have it, and it was good to see their fans. I was really happy that, I in my lifetime I've seen the Giants go to the World Series 4 times now, and they've won the last 2.
And there was no earthquake this time.
This was a good thing.
Oh,
'cause
that's right.
I remember that the first time I saw the Giants go to the World Series, and so it was good. I mean, again, I felt really bad.
And who did they play again in the World Series?
The Detroit Tigers.
Okay, that's right. All right, we were just talking about Detroit. I get it. Yeah, I'm not up on sports stuff. Okay.
I was, like when Jeter got hurt, we were having a family get together and we all watched that, and we thought that was really sad too.
It was a sad way to end the year.
I mean,
Mariano Rivera did announce today, though, he is coming back to next year to pitch for the
Well,
Yankees.
he's been around for a long time. Is he going to retire at some point here?
He's all of 44. Ancient.
Well, because how old was Nolan Ryan when he finally retired?
60?
yeah.
He went a long time.
Yeah.
I know he was
like
finally
Roger
let him
Clemens,
do it.
they
Right.
granted one probably had some help, but the Nolan Ryan just had such a perfect form that even though he was not as good as he was still better than most.
Wow.
And
Okay.
impressive. It's again my favorite Giants game that I went to, in the course of my life, was the Dave Trevecchi comeback game. And so they played Cincinnati, and we got to see Pete Rose thrown out of the game.
Oh, why was he thrown out of the game?
I argued
Just
with him.
obnoxious. Okay.
He got thrown out a lot of games.
Yeah, and so but it was an
He had to get thrown out so that he can get to his bookie.
Yeah, it was before all that. And Trevecchi had, surgery and lost all the muscle in his arm, so he had to learn how to pitch again.
Oh, wow.
And so when he came back, after that, it was a packed stadium at Candlestick, and it was a great game. There have been many wonderful games at AT&T.
And they didn't put a firm pitch count on him or anything.
Yeah. Bump. Yeah.
You're not going to get.
I feel like I'm missing a joke
You're not
here.
going to get that. A lot of players, when they come back from surgery now, for example, the Washington team this year, the Nationals, their best pitcher came back from Tommy John surgery. And they put a firm inning count as to once he pitched this amount of innings, he wasn't going to pitch anymore.
Okay.
And as a result, when it came time for the playoffs, they did not have their best pitcher because they determined it was more important to have him for his career than for the season.
Well, that's good. That's actually wise.
I happen to agree with it. And even Little League on down now, they do an incredible job of watching the amount of pitches that kids throw so that they don't wreck their arm for the future.
All right. Well, that's good.
So, but for the Giants, there was some concern with the Holiday slide into Scudero, and the way that series ended with Holiday's hit right to Scudero to end the end the inning and end the game, sending the Giants to the World Series. For me, it was totally awesome because it was justice. It was absolutely after that nasty slide into second and seeing Scudero make that out, in the final game was awesome. And I love the World Series this year. But for you, what was your favorite moment in a ball game?
Well, after the Yankees were out, I really didn't watch all that much. So my favorites were the Yankees beating the Orioles to get to the next level,
Yeah.
and then the next series was not quite as entertaining for me. Especially the Yankees won a couple of games with the Orioles in just such dynamic form with home run to tie it, then a home run in the 13th inning to win it. I mean, it was an incredible series. I was telling Josh earlier that Staten Island has a grand connection to the Giants, and there happens to be a lot of Giant fans on Staten Island, including our borough president, who's a big Giant fan from the New York Giant days, because Bobby Thompson was a Staten Islander, and Bobby Thompson hit a home run that propelled the Giants into the World Series against the hated Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yep.
Okay, well now I'm confused because I know the Dodgers left Brooklyn and that was a whole big thing. But so you're saying the San Francisco Giants?
They
used
were the
to be
New York Giants too, and
so
they
how many
played
baseball teams did they have in New York?
a lot of them.
Yeah.
Holy
In fact,
cow!
the New York Yankees and the New York Giants shared the polo grounds.
Oh wow!
And the Giants moved away, and the Dodgers moved away to Brooklyn. And starting tonight, Brooklyn has a professional team for the first time since the Dodgers left. And the Brooklyn Nets have their opening game tonight against the Raptors. So professional sports is back in Brooklyn tonight.
Wait, and that was the old New Jersey Nets, right?
The old New Jersey Nets are now in Barclays Stadium in Brooklyn, a stone throw away from the Brooklyn Courthouse, where I'll be in January.
Wow! I have to tell you really quickly, just so I can have something to say about sports. My connection to the Nets was that when I was at George Washington in undergrad, we didn't even have football. Sports were not a big thing. But one of the years I was there, we had Yinkadare. And we actually had a fabulous basketball team for 1 year. We got to the Sweet 16. That's when UMass had their amazing five. And I forget now the names. I used to know them all. We beat UMass, who was undefeated at that time. And then Yinkadare actually left, I think, in the middle of the night, kind of sneaking away to go join the New Jersey Nets. He didn't amount to anything there, and then the poor guy actually died of, I think, a heart attack or something. But so ever since then, I've had a connection to the Nets, because I'm the one kind of sports person to come out of GW was this guy who went to the Nets.
I'm hoping for a good basketball season out of my law school and college, St. John's, this year. We finally, I think, have a good team with a good coach. And
St. John's used to be really good. I mean,
when I went there, we were up there. We were certainly battling for the top spot. We were always in the top 10, always in the top 25 in the Chris Mullen days.
Yeah.
And hopefully this year's team gets at least some play.
College basketball. We'll have to talk about that. I love college basketball. But so about the New York Yankees, have you been a fan your entire life then?
I have been.
Have you been to a World Series game?
My father also was a Yankee fan. Hated the Dodgers. He used to always tell me stories that living in Brooklyn that he wasn't very popular as a Yankee fan. I've always liked the Yankees. Yes, I've actually seen them in person clinch a divisional series, a pennant, and a World Series. So I've completed each of the things. Against the Braves, I saw them win the World Series. It was the last big game that I had been to.
Yeah, I haven't been to any of the big games. Again,
For the Giants.
I mean, I love going to the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love going to a ball game. And I will sit and just watch the interplay.
And the new ballpark looks gorgeous.
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, it looks so much nicer than Candlestick Park on TV.
And physically, it's amazing. And
the new Yankee Stadium is nice too. I mean, I really like the old Yankee Stadium too. But what they've done with the area around the new Yankee Stadium, they created a really nice soccer field and some little league fields out of the blueprint that was Yankee Stadium. So they did for the neighborhood. They did a lot of good things for the neighborhood. And the new stadium is gorgeous, but there was something about the old stadium that was also nice.
Well, it's I've been to been by Fenway, haven't been in, and
one of my favorite parks to see a game.
I would love to go see a game there, but I did see one at Wrigley, and I actually saw the Cubbies play the Giants at Wrigley. And it's that was way cool to get to go do that.
Camden Yards is beautiful. I've been to Camden Yards.
Camden Yards is very nice.
I love Camden Yards.
I've been to a game there too, and I lived in Massachusetts from age 10 to 16, and went to a bunch of games at Fenway, And the last time I went to Boston, because my son's a big baseball fan, a Houston Astro fan, and he wanted to see the park, so we did the tour. And now they have the seats atop the Green Monster, which they didn't have when I went there. And they've done a good job with keeping that stadium, but yet enhancing it at the same time.
Yeah, it's. I would love to go. I'd love to go see the Yankees play. If I'm in New York next season and it works out, I'd love to go see them play. Because it'd be neat to go see the ballparks.
You got to see when the Interleague.
Yeah.
Because that's even my first trip to the new Yankee Stadium was when the Astros were in town, and of course the Yankees beat the Astros. But everyone beats the Astros, so it's not like any kind of competition.
It's not saying much.
What I'm looking forward to next April and the beginning of baseball season is the movie 42. And I think that will be phenomenal.
Wait, and that's about, I'm like, what's 42? Who's 42?
Well, Harrison Ford stars as the owner of the baseball team.
Okay.
Okay, and it takes place in New York.
So I'm thinking Giants,
Brooklyn
Yankees, Dodgers, okay.
And about... tell her?
I'm like, who is that? I'm like,
This is
Babe Ruth,
fun.
or
Yeah.
I'm like Cal Ripken, Kirby Puckett. I'm trying to think of baseball names I know.
Jackie Robinson.
Oh, who's
So
playing
I was
Jackie?
going to give the Mariano Rivera a hint,
Yeah.
but I don't think that would.
I don't think
Yeah,
I would have
that-
gotten
He's
that.
the last player with Jackie Robinson's number, because the number has been retired.
Oh,
but
good.
because he had the number, he's been grandfathered the privilege of keeping the number.
Totally would not have gotten that
Yeah.
reference. All right, well, thank you again for joining us for yet another very special edition of the Legal Geeks here from Utah. Thank you, Your Honor, for coming and talking to us about baseball and Star Wars. That's always nice. Thank you, Josh, as always, for showing up. And this is very entertaining. I'm going to miss this in-person dialogue when we go back to our states.
Indeed. But there was always next time.
There is.
There is always hope.
Always.
All right, and on that note, we're going to end. Thank you. Good night. We're out of here. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today.
Stay geeky, America.